Hey everyone, it's Anna. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for visiting. It's evening of July 31st and I thought I would do a garden update. Starting in the blackberry patch this time. The canes for this year look really great. They have lots of berries on them. The canes for next year that have been coming in look really strong as well. I've actually topped them all and they're starting to put on their lateral branches, which will support next year's fruit. Here's a handful of berries that I picked while I was out there, and then just noticing how many berries on these canes have started to blush. I think in the next couple weeks here, I'm literally going to be up to my eyeballs in blackberries. Here's the front of the chicken coop. I thought it looked cute in the sunlight, and I am just noticing how large that patch of bee balm is as well. This is a really great flower. I love their little crazy tops, and it smells really good as well. Here are some garden beds that I have off to the side of the chicken coop. These first two here used to be my cut flower beds, and I'm transitioning those into raspberry beds. And then the third bed off in the distance there, that shorter one, is strawberries. And here is a look at the progress on my new cut flower garden that I'm putting in. I am going to be putting in 10 rows here. They are about 24 feet long. I have, I think, 7 of them done, so just 3 to go. Here you can see a closer look of them. The rows themselves are 30 inches wide and the pathways are 2 feet wide, so 24 inches wide. The first bed there with hoops on it, I have some feverfew that I transplanted from another area and some zinnias that I transplanted from another area. And then the open spaces in that bed are filled with sunflower seeds, so they're not really open at all, but they have been planted with sunflower seeds that will come up. And then the bed on the left here, these are some sunflowers that I had started a few weeks ago in seed trays, so I got them all transplanted out as well, and they are enjoying life out there. And here you can see, even though I just planted these seeds, I think on Friday evening, and they're already coming in, so pretty excited about those. And these seedlings that I planted in seed trays a few weeks ago, they look really good. The transplant process worked really well with these guys, so I have just enough time before frost for these to come to a bloom. Here's a look at the flowers that I put in at the end of the garden, the original garden, and eventually when I get all this new expanded area fenced in, I'll be able to take these fence panels out and make the garden just one large garden. The way that I had the fence built around the garden allows me to take one or all of those sections out. Here's some zinnias that I have planted in a whiskey barrel at the end of the garden, and just another look at the perennials and annuals that I have out there at the end. That bed is coming in really nicely. Those sunflowers will bloom here shortly, and there's lots of other stuff blooming in there as well. And here's a little peek at the inside of the garden. There is a yellow plum tree there, just on the other side of the fence. And of course there's the row of blueberries, and everything else. My little scarecrow looks a little worse for wear. Her little hat's coming off, so she's going to need some assembly work this fall. Here's some beautiful white cosmos, and they look really pretty. And then this is that new, what is it called? Burning Heart, I believe. And here is some red yarrow and a really pretty echinacea here with a really cute center, and then some Dusty Miller there as well. I do have some daisies growing in that first strawberry bed that you saw. I did say that I was transitioning those beds from cut flower beds to raspberry beds and into a strawberry bed, so there are a few flowers that are still coming in. Here is the nasturtium and zinnias that I have planted in that reproduction wash tub. And then on the other side of my garden gate, I have another whiskey barrel and some sunflowers coming in as well. These are a variety called Tinies from Sunflower Selections. This is a volunteer sunflower on the outside of the garden. I just thought it was really beautiful. It's like a terracotta color, and I just thought it was really pretty, so I might have to save seeds from that one. This little birdhouse I hung up here this year, we actually had baby birds in it this year. They were little house wrens that built a little nest in there and were cute as could be. Stepping inside the garden, let me go ahead and show you what's going on in here. We've got, of course, all those lovely pinks, baby pink snapdragons blooming. Oh, they were not supposed to be pink. I'm certain that they were mislabeled. But the strawberry patch here inside the garden is putting on its second flush of berries for the season, so that's wonderful. And here's a couple of volunteer sunflowers. One of them is not even growing in the bed, it's literally growing in the pathway. In this bed here, I've pulled out all the radishes that have bolted and the lettuce that got bitter with the heat, made room for those sunflowers. And these volunteer ones here at the end got so tall. So very tall. There's some volunteer dill in this bed as well. But here's another look at those pink snapdragons. While they are not my favorite color of snapdragon, they have been very nice in my cut flower bouquets. Here's a look at one of the bean trellises. This thing is out of control. Those red scarlet runner beans there that you can see hanging down in there, I'm letting those come to maturity on the vine so that I can save the seeds. So I've been steaming those and having them for dinner, though. They've been delicious. I have several little pansies that have been growing out between garden bed boards, so there's one of them for you. And here is a sweetmeat. This is a delicious squash that you can grow. Here's a look at some of the zinnias in this bed. Will be blooming here shortly, so that'll be fun. I did not pinch these zinnias off, so they are currently just basically one straight stalk, but when I cut the first flower off of those, they'll branch out. Look how tall those volunteer sunflowers are. And I pinched that sunflower, so it really should not be that tall, but instead of just having one bloom that tall, now I have like 8. So these are the chocolate cherry sunflowers that I have planted on one side of a trellis. They have started blooming, and again, they are so tall, much taller than I thought they would get. And the zinnias there in front of them have started blooming. It's a really pretty mix. And there's a little bit of lavender there in the corner as well. And then over here in this bed, these zinnias have started blooming too, and all different varieties of colors. There's reds and oranges, some coral colors and yellows. Very pretty. You can see all those chocolate cherry sunflowers are opening up, and they are well above my head. Like those, especially those ones towards those pink snapdragons, I can't actually reach those. They're very high. This is a really bright orange large zinnia, very pretty, and this one is a coral colored, very pretty. And here is one of the chocolate cherry sunflowers you can see up close, and one of those little leafhopper bugs that I don't like. And this is a beautiful sunflower. And these, of course, are way up as well. And it was very breezy this day. We don't usually get breezes like this on a very regular basis. It was kind of breezy this day, and it was making everything dance around. It was making the audio of the video recordings very difficult as well. Here's another look at those pink snapdragons. I've picked so many of these, and they've been really beautiful in my bouquets, so I am appreciative of having them. This is that center bed. You can see all those colorful zinnias there, and then behind them is some Cosmo that I'll show you shortly. But lots of pinks and reds and oranges, very pretty. The Cosmos row that I have planted here, they are a candy striped Cosmo, and they just started blooming. And there's, I think, just about three blooms open on them so far. And they're pretty small yet, but I think they're cute. They have that little dark edging on the petals with the wider centers. Very sweet little flowers. And then the next row of these garden beds is the one that I have the statice planted at the end of. and it's been really nice in my bouquets as well. You can see I have a whole bunch of it to cut there. And then that red profusion hedge there that I've created at the front of that garden bed is really beautiful. It's just loaded with flowers. Lots of them. There's a really nice nasturtium at the corner, and there's some beautiful marigolds here as well. Here's a closer look at that profusion zinnia hedge that I've put in there. I believe there are 6 plants planted here, and it is 6 feet long. This is a queen lime orange, and this is a queen lime red zinnia. And this one is a canary yellow. Here's another beautiful sunflower. Really nice. And in addition to flowers in the garden, I actually am growing food as well. Here's a look at some of my tomatoes. This is a black Krim tomato plant, and those tomatoes are enormous. Enormous. These ones are as well very large tomatoes, and I'm super excited for them. They are my favorite kind of tomato. And these tomatoes, I'm guessing, currently already weigh a pound, and they are going to get larger. They are very large tomatoes. And here are some more that are even bigger. This is also a black Krim. Lots and lots of tomatoes on here. So it's going to be a good year for the big tomatoes. And it's a good year for the little tomatoes. This is my pear, yellow pear tomato plant. And this thing is probably, I'm guessing, probably at least 10 feet tall. And there are tomatoes up there. Oy. This is the back of a zinnia I thought looked really pretty in the sunlight. And then here's another little grouping of those red profusion zinnias. I just love those plants. I think they're so pretty. And here's another look at that tomato plant. That's just one tomato plant, by the way. Out of control. And then on the other hoop trellis, I have a sun gold. You can see those ripe tomatoes hanging down in there. They look really beautiful. And that little ombre from like a dark orange to a green. These are the yellow pears. And over here are these sun gold tomatoes. I love how they ripen on the branches like that. I ate tomatoes for dinner, by the way. After I stopped filming, I ate tomatoes. But this plant is loaded with fruit. Here's a look at the beautiful dahlia. I think this one is called Miss Melissa, if I'm not mistaken. And then here's some more zinnias, and the Mexican sunflower is in there, and it hasn't started blooming yet, but it will shortly. And then here's some lettuce I need to pull out and feed to the rabbit. It's gotten bitter with the heat. And then this is my Cherokee purple tomato. And one tomato plant here has all of these tomatoes on it, and these are also very large tomatoes, and I'm super excited about these. This is the first time that I've had good success growing Cherokee purple tomatoes. Usually I only get a couple of tomatoes from each plant, so this year has put on a lot. Here's another look at that sun gold tomato. It's really beautiful. And just so many tomatoes on there. Eventually I'm going to have to top these plants so that they put their energy into ripening those fruit instead of continuing to grow taller. I thought the bees were fun working over this sunflower. And here's kind of a look from the other corner of the garden here, just towards the end of the blueberry patch. You can see that middle trellis there has really been covered with beans and tomatoes. And the flowers here in this first bed look really beautiful. Here's one of those cute little metal quail. I love having these on the fence. I also, in addition to growing tomatoes, I'm growing zucchinis. This is a Black Beauty zucchini, and I've been enjoying several zucchinis off of it already. And here's a look at some of the flowers that I have blooming in the garden. I also have some flowers planted up by the house. This is one of my beautiful lavender plants that I have. And here's some more white cosmos. These are planted in a whiskey barrel on our patio. They look so pretty in the sun. And they are also planted with this color cosmo. I want to say this is a Zensia? I can't remember. These were some snapdragons that I had old seed for, and I didn't know if it was viable anymore, so I just scattered the snapdragon seeds everywhere, and they ended up blooming in that bright yellow. Here's more of these profusion zinnias. If you can't tell, I really love these plants. They're stupid easy to grow, and they always have beautiful blooms on them, and they always have lots of flowers on them as well. And then, of course, some more Shasta daisies. I love Shasta daisies, so I have some of these up at the house. This is I can't remember what it's called. And this is another profusion zinnia. This is in the color double coral, I believe. And some bright fuchsia petunias. Aren't they pretty? Here is some blue salvia. And finally, a look at the chicken coop from the patio. You can see I have great big purple petunias there as well. I love growing flowers. So thanks for joining me in the garden today. I hope you enjoyed this quick tour, and we will chat again soon. Bye!